should now be live. Good evening, everyone. Just going to make sure everything's working correctly. It appears to be. Lovely jubbly. How are we all doing? If anyone is there, of course. I can never be quite sure on what YouTube is telling me when it comes to concurrent viewers and such. Hello, Rob. How are you doing? Just going to give people a little bit of time to pop in and such. Today is just going to be modular building, by the way, so it's also going to be a stream where there'll be plenty of talking, and I can keep a good eye on the chat. Okay, well, I'm just going to get going. So today, the goal is to produce some Alpine style, Tiger style planters, plaza decorations, all that sort of thing. Just because I need some for the Norway park, but also hoping that Evo might want to use them around her build. So that's the plan for today. Yeah, hello Chad, I'm doing okay. So I'm hoping to do for now is to kind of get a few of these done. And then we're going to also try to create some path coverings and maybe some plaza decorations if we get time to do so. But primarily we're looking at doing plaza and stuff today. So I'm going to just get started. What substrate do we want to use? You know, I kind of like the gravel. Just because I think if we use the soil, it will just look too brown, if you know what I mean. You know what? Let's just do a couple of different designs and see which one we like the look of more. Okay, so let's stick to the gravel for this one, and then the other one we'll make with soil. Now, this is definitely going to have to be reduced in size a little bit. How is that looking? It needs to be reduced in size a little bit more. Okay, how does that look? Not sticking out there, sticking out a little bit there. Can we just adjust it a little bit? Okay, it's not sticking out there, but it is now sticking out there. Okay, we need to go a little bit smaller then. So it's fine there, more or less. That's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. Okay. What height do I want this at? Maybe. Oh, if I put it too low, it's gonna. How's that happened? God's sake. Gonna make me put 2 in here, are you, game? Okay, then. Too much. There you go. Hello, Brenton. I'm doing okay today. How are you? Right, we want Taiga style. Let's start with trees. Let's do trees in this one. Small spruce. Look at the LOD on that. That is appalling. But a slightly thinner one. Oh, that's that proved to be larger than expected. Can I go filter by? Oh, of course, because they don't have taiga as a biome anymore, which I think is a shame. Yeah, I think the best out of the ones that we were looking at there was that these are all way too big. Mediterranean. I think we'll stick with this one. That's the nicest looking of them, I think. No tag. What do you mean, no tag? Have we got some ferns? Let's go with these little guys. Yeah. Oh, align to surface. Really? Why do these ferns look like they're half dead? Like, really? What happened to lush green ferns? Do we have something? A little flower. Little flower. Why are all these flowers so big as well? Really? I think that's okay. What I do want to do is also make sure these planters have a little bit of lighting on them. So I'm thinking maybe lights on the side, or maybe a light on the the edge. Oh, you meant tiger, no worries. Let's make sure that this is in the right spot. Little garden lights inside. Yeah, maybe we'll experiment with some styles because I don't think there's anything wrong with providing different styles to people. How does that look like in the dark? I would say that looks maybe too bright, to be honest. Maybe it's the color of the light, to be fair. That's better. Okay. I'm just going to move this one over here. I should probably duplicate it, actually. Then I'm gonna make sure this one is grouped. There we go. So we got one. It would be cool if Frontier adds a mechanic where you can select any growth stage of any plant, so your enclosure will look more natural. Yeah, I mean, I would say it would be nice for us to have some options in here that were a bit more colorful, because so much of this is just green. Like there are so many plants here that it's just green, and I think that really creates quite a boring choice of foliage for us. So you kind of have to spend a fair amount of time trying to actually make the foliage a little bit more pleasant, you know. Maybe instead of those, do we have a flowering white sage, arrowroot, tiger creosote? And it's annoying because they give you perfectly good bushes like that, and then they are all enormous in size. I've already spent far too many hours studying all these plants and everything from top to bottom. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I think that's probably the best way of sort of figuring out... What is that? Diamond leaf willow. Huh. Huh. Might make for an interesting addition. I think I'll get rid of that and replace it with the Labrador. Oh. And then this one, I think we'll have a go with putting the lighting on the side. I think we'll go for the big boys. So we'll go 1. Make sure these are also burning the same sort of orange color. Interesting. Oh, I just didn't do the right button there. Everything in place? Yep. Create group. I also find the names in English and German very funny because they are sometimes very difficult. Oh, well, yeah, there's quite a few weird pronunciations and quite a weird few plant names, that's for sure. Where was that bush? It was this one. So kind of got one that like sticks out at a really bizarre angle for some reason. I think we'll go with this one. And where are those lovely yellow flowers? Here they are. Anyone been up to anything interesting today? I know it was a Friday, so perhaps people were just busy with normal weekday things, but... Has anyone done anything, fun? Oh my, that one really was not in the middle of that plant pot, was it? Kind of feel like it looks a little anorexic like that. That's better. And lighting, let's see, maybe something like this, just like a little... bury it into the metal studs a little bit. And again, we'll make these kind of dull orange. See, that I kind of like. I like that better than the other two ways. I like that one more. Okay. Nah, just existing. Nothing wrong with that. Just existing is, I think, wildly underrated. It's pretty much what I've done today. Just existed. Yep, that's all of them. Okay, so that's using the gravel as a substrate. I don't think you can really, like, tell the difference between gravel and the soil. I don't really think it's going to show up much, but let's do some with soil instead. Right, we know this needs to be reduced to 0.8. It's not sticking through there, not sticking through there. Let's use a different tree for this one. I feel like these are all a bit, well, not too bad, I guess. Yeah, not too bad. I think it would look better if you lower the planters 1 or 2 wooden beams into the ground. Well, I've got some different... I do have some different heights here. So, you know, the idea is to kind of test which ones look the best, so... Plus, I mean, people can lower them and whatever. But to me, I've tried to go for, like, person height. So... that's what I'm basing this off to begin with. But we'll have a look and see how they look with at different heights with the other designs. It's a little large. Yeah, that's okay. Lighting. Let's see what it looks like if I just put, like, small lights in the corners. Corners won't show up the lights very well. Maybe we'll try changing the color of these ones. Let's make these ones blue. Let's see how blue light looks. I kind of prefer the blue to the orange. I think that looks better. I think the red light district attracts more male visitors. Yes, perhaps. Yeah, I kind of prefer the blue light. We'll go with the blue light. As for this, I do kind of prefer these ones. I feel that these light cylinders, for want of a better term, they're a bit chunky. They work like if you pile them one on top of the other. They can make some quite cool like light towers, but I think for our purposes here, they're just a bit too chunky. So okie dokie. Group this one together. So this one, we want it to be flowers. We'll go with some different flowers again for this one. I may not be a big fan of a fully feathered Rex, but the book's design is way better, original, and cooler. Have I missed something? What do we... Let me scroll up a minute. Oh, Primitive War. Are you talking about Primitive War? See, I love this, but I don't want to use biome-specific vegetation. I want to be able to choose my vegetation. Why is this rhododendron bush so fucking enormous? I like that. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I don't really care about spoilers though, so it's fine. But yeah, I still haven't seen it. I just don't think I'm gonna like it. I'm not really someone who likes watching sort of cringy B-movie kind of stuff. Things like Sharknado and that lot. I just kind of have never liked watching that sort of stuff. The book is way better than the movie. I mean, I think that's true for every movie based on a book. The books are always almost uniformly better. Dog rose bushes. Isn't that the one I just used? Yeah. Oh, this one is a bush. So we need to find another reasonable sort of bush. I mean, what is this stuff? Manzanita? Maybe this was the stuff we were already using. I feel like the flowering thyme has got to be in here somewhere. But I feel like this would work as a good covering bush. Yeah, now we just need to find that like central bush or small tree. Blackthorn, I feel like blackthorn we could do, but they're also bloody enormous. Cedar salt, maybe cedar salt. No, I don't like that. It's a nice bush, but not for something that needs a bigger planter, I think. Way too big. Maybe we could just go with like a sort of small tree. Like a little sapling or something. Like maybe if we did one of those and duplicate and then twist and twist and twist. Yeah, I don't dislike that. I think that works. You know me, I like there to be a little bit of color. I think it's probably it's one of the biggest problems I have with a lot of people's parks. Is I sometimes think that the choices of foliage they go with is all a bit boring and bland. Like, is it realistic that you would have autumnal trees when it's not autumn? No. But color. Fucking color. Okay, so the difference between soil substrate and gravel substrate really isn't that much. Honestly, I think either works perfectly fine. So we'll just continue. I did put this like ultra tiny one here, but I'm like, that it's not really big enough for anything, is it? Let's see if we could do like maybe we could just use it for like a single tree or something. Let's see. It's a shame we can't resize that, because that would have been fine. Maybe we could just use it for just some... just some little flowers. Nothing wrong with just some little flowers. If we do do a few of these with just some different flowering flowers in them. I still need to see the trailer for Oak Street because Evo wanted to know what I thought about it. But I suspect I'm going to be not that impressed. Just because maybe someone can clear it up for me. Is it actually a Cloverfield thing? Because Evo was talking a lot about it, and I'm kind of confused. Is it actually related or part of the other Cloverfield films, or is it not, or is it? You have no clue. Okay, because Eva was talking a lot about Cloverfield in her video about it, and I'm like, is it actually part of the Cloverfield thing? Because if that's true, then I'm probably going to be not that interested because I didn't really think much of the I was a bit like Cloverfield 1 I thought was fine, but then I feel like they went way off the rails. I'm like, how did we go from giant monster to this like haunted house thing that they did immediately after? I didn't get it basically. So I think the 38-minute video from the guy that lies a lot is much more informative. Irony. Yeah, but that would require me to go and watch a video by the guy that lies a lot, and I don't really want to do that. So I'll probably just look it up. So hey, it's true. He does lie a lot. Not really Alpine-y, those ferns. It's not really a word either, is it? Alpine-y. That's just too big. Well, he's right 1% of the time. Hmm. 1% of the time is still not much. Did I get all of that? I did. I feel like there's one more type, actually, of this I want to make. But I'll probably have to use one of these. Again, making sure I'm not sticking out of the sides or the end. I'm not. How high up do I want this? Probably about there. Now, are there actually any fountains small enough to fit in here? Not. I love the fact that if you shrink these, it totally breaks the arcs, the water arcs that they get. That just looks really dumb. I don't like that. And I'm pretty sure none of these are going to be small enough to be shrunk in. No. Small enough, but kind of excessive. So yeah, even this sort of thing is too small. You know, it would work for something like that, or like that, or like that, or even maybe something like that, but not these small ones. So no sprays for this one. But maybe we could just make this a nice little water feature. Uh, few little bits of amber. It's a shame we don't have more types of water plant than what we do. Don't like that. What? Sometimes less is more, I guess. Maybe just stick a few larger ones in here. I still remember the time he confused a Tylosaurus with a Liplorodon. Yeah, they are. That's unforgivable. They're very different. they, they are very, very different. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Okay, so we got like a range of like smaller ones here. Let's have a look at. Why don't we tackle one of these? Just want to make sure I have an empty one so I can make use of it. So we'll go with soil again. Flanders soil. Maybe it's gonna be best idea to start with the size and work our way in. And then it works. Think it could all just be lowered a little bit. Okay. We can definitely put slightly larger trees in this one. What is this one over here? Oh, that's a Mediterranean cypress, isn't it? That's the small one we used earlier. These are all probably a bit big. That would work there, but maybe spruce. I really cannot get the middle of my planters, can I? I'm terrible at depth perception, it seems. Bushes, right. Where was the arrowwood? Bramble, arrowwood. I feel like this stuff is actually pretty good. Makes for a good kind of coverage plant. White sage, thyme, flowering thyme. Let's put some of that there and there. And where are those ferns? Bracken. I'm going to put these in the corners. And then temperate. Why are the temperate rocks so big? Maybe someone can. Well, why are the rocks in general so big? Like, I feel like this game, we have no small rocks. We only have big ones. Ah, that's sticking through. Reasonably happy with that. Yeah, chat, those are some pretty long odds, I have to say. Okay, lights for this one. I think what I want to do is go with the big cool lights. Well, we're going to put them on those ends. So if you want to put like seating or anything in their little gaps, you're lighting. What did I do there? Okay. Yeah. There's one. Okay, this one. So we'll stick to what, like, so we go tree, flower, bush. So this one we want to use plenty of flowers in. So let's start with our lovely purple ones. And these we're going to go. The edge. Have some of the lovely white ones. There and there. In the middle, we will have our tropical flowering and flowering time. We have a different shape of flowering time. There's a yellow one somewhere. Creosote. So we've got the red, the yellow, the purple. Is there one other type of like flowering bush? So we've already got the taiga creosote. No, they're all bare, aren't they? Maybe duplicate the yellow boys. I thought that's kind of nice. I think maybe we could just have like a single rock in the middle. Oh my lord. Why are the rocks so big? This game really doesn't do rock texture very well, does it? Build a No, Rob, we will not do that. Okay, and then the next one was like one that has bushes. Be brave. I'm not brave enough. Huh. Interesting. That fits in there. Was I looking for this stuff? How many do we think we can get away with putting in here? Okay. Statues? Yes. Let's go with one of you. Do we have a light that will fit inside? Yeah, one of those will. Creepy. But acceptable. Just having a look at whatever. We could do with one that's a slightly different color, couldn't we? Maybe recreate the red one for this, or maybe make it a different color. Honestly, sometimes I feel this is like I see so many designs of like massive buildings on the workshop, and I feel like I very rarely ever see people doing stuff like this, just building small decorative elements. And I feel like that's a problem because a lot of our parks are these small decorative elements and not enormous. Are small decorative elements are not these enormous constructions. What is this? Bloodwood eucalyptus. Wow. What a cool looking type of tree. It's, that would be like one of these. There's no way those would go in there. That's kind of a cute little tree. Oh, figs. Oh. I was actually looking for the red. I got distracted. Kind of triple up on the tree just to make it look a little less weak. Foliage on the ground. I feel like maybe... mind having a few patches of ivy, but I feel like we want to add some other bits in. By the way, I know this is not especially interesting to watch. I do apologize, but you know, modular building days are kind of something I wanted to do, and have a different theme for every month or so. So. Some flowers we can stick in here. Just for a bit of colour. Why are you there? I feel like that would work in the one I'm going to do in a sec, the fountain. But maybe we could put like a... T-Rex head in there. And then lighting wise... Nope. Yeah, that works. Is all it, yeah? Yep. And then I definitely want to do a fountain. I feel like this should be big. This should be big enough to get like a fountain block in here. What's going to be the easiest way of doing this? Probably... Okay, that looks okay there. Duplicate. Why is that nowhere near in the right place? That is sticking through. wrong place. Man, I long for the day when we have a game that actually just allows water to be... It's going to sound stupid, but watery. But like, where you could just build something like this and just put water in and the physics do it all for you. Like, oh, you want to put water in that container? Oh, well, I will just create a natural water level for you. And you can just, you know... That is not working. Okay, let's try a different method. Let's go... Let's start with here, because that basically works. So go with one there, and then one there, there, and there. And then do... Yeah, that's sticking out. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine. So one there. Welcome back, Ingigo. Honestly, why did they only give us rectangle pieces for this? Like, did no one on their team think, what if someone wants to build it in a different shape? Okay, there we go. Do you think it needs to be ever so slightly lower? That'll do. Okay. Now, this takes up a lot of room. Oh. I want something else flower-wise to put in here, but we don't have a good choice of aquatic flowers. Just want something with a different bloody color to it. Okay. Hello, Nicholas. And yes, I don't understand how Frontier have decided what makes a medium and a large animal, because there are some where it just makes no sense at all. Sometimes I just find it easier to do it that way. I want to just make one more, like, fountain. Why are these so big? Like, they're wonderful, but they're huge. They're just so completely unusable. That one's just excessive. Dino. Maybe not right there, but maybe. Hmm. Yep, I think we'll just put some amber in here. Bye-bye, Rob. Thank you for popping in. Always nice to see you. Right. And something bushy. Just realised I had random rotation turned on. No. Why can't I find the plant type I was using a minute ago? Oh, is it? It's here. There it is. I remember correctly, the fountain, which I cannot now grab hold of. Oh, no, that's... I'm just going to make them all blue. I'm assuming one of them will be the light. Oh, okay. Maybe it did come with lighting. Oh. That's way too big. These light types are so large. I think they're okay. $113 for that one. Okay. I'm going to take a break making planters because it's taking a while. I want to have a go at the other thing which I wanted to have a go at doing today, which was trying to create my own version of where is it? Not that, obviously, but was it this? Yes, this. I want to try and create my own version of this. But obviously do it in a wood log style. So how has he actually done this? He's got flattening pieces. Okay, interesting. Okay. So let's start off with then. Let's start with doing it over this size. So it's not quite the same size. That's interesting. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make L1 5 long. Now we want to use plenty of this wood. But I think I want it to be quite thick. But that feels too tall. I think we want to have it roughly there, because I want to put something, I think, about that height. Okay, and then duplicate. Actually, maybe we should double it up. Evo, hello. I'm actually making you things. Funny you should pop in. I'm actually making things for you. or that was the inspiration. That was the inspiration. Today was I wanted to do a bunch of Alpine style planters and stuff, which inspired by your park, but also because I need some. So these will be going on the workshop after I'm done. Just a bunch of like simple planter things. And I'll probably try and also do some larger varieties. But these are all the ones we got so far. Just some simple little planters ready to go. And fountains. But I'm trying to create a cover with this one. I want to create a kind of covering. Okay, that about there. Yep. And then, oh, what did I do there? Okay, duplicate. And up. Down. Nope, duplicate. I'm going to make it just a smidge or two smaller. So I want to make it look like it's been put through. Yep, that's fine. That looks about right. Why does it keep doing that? I really don't like it when it forgets its like axis. Just arbitrarily decides to change what the global axis is that it remembers. It really bugs me. Being stupid, aren't I? Okay. Now. I want to do something down the sides. But we're not going to use those. We're going to use... where are they? These? This one. Yes, this one. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to get rid of that horrible wooden, that horrible metal foot that it has. That sounds a bit anti-disability, does it? We'll get rid of that horrible metal foot. No. Actually, maybe we'll have a little bit of the metal foot. Just maybe have it that way around instead. I want to change what type of wood that is. Hex code silver birch wood. Oh, not silver birch bark. There is the lovely hex code. It's almost too bright. Let's make that slightly darker. Yeah, I'm happier with that being silver birch. Okay, and go across one. See, it's not resetting the thingies here. It was just on that one. It was just on the logs. That's so weird. Okay. Confirm. Dupe it. Get rotated. You know what? I do think actually this needs something down here. But again, maybe we'll go even thinner for that one. Oh, is that central? Looks it to me. We'll give it the same color. So it's got like silver birch railings. Birch? Disgusting wood type. What's wrong with silver birch? I think silver birch is one of the nicest looking woods, honestly. Okay, where was that one? Where was the one we're using as a guide? This thing. So I think we need something down the middle. Or maybe across the top, actually. Maybe get these. Dupe. Elevate. Ah. I definitely think we need something down the middle, because this feels too weak otherwise. So let's use the things on the floor as a guide. It's not very scientific, that. The things on the floor. Though it did make me laugh, the Artemis mission being delayed because the toilet malfunctioned. Just there's something so wonderfully human about that situation. Just we've built this multi-million-dollar spacecraft, but the toilet's gone wrong. I suppose you could say the shit really hit the fan. I know that's a terrible pun, I'm sorry, but could not. Okay, that's a bit nicer. I think that gives us some more structure to it. Unless we do, like, actually, maybe we could do like a nice little wooden roof here. We probably don't want to use pieces that big. Maybe we do. Ah! Clicked on the wrong thing. Now 22.5. That should do, I reckon. Yes. Delicious. Let's just make it a smidge smaller. Yes. Right. Duplicate. Rotate. Shift. And I want it actually be coming off there. So this one needs to be moved in slightly. It's more or less okay. Duplicate. One on there. Doop. Oh, shit. There we go. There we go. I've been loving all the clips of the launch on social media, but I've never had so many people in my feeds who don't believe in the moon landing. Honestly. I don't understand the idea, like, why there are so many people who want to believe we haven't gone to... It's like, why do you want to think we haven't really gone there? Like, even even if you had the slightest of suspicions, why do you not want us to have gone to the moon? It's like you're wanting humanity to have failed, and I don't get that perspective. Like, irrespective of the fact that all the arguments for, oh, we haven't really gone to the moon are complete hokum. I just hate the fact that people want to downplay it. It's like the people who downplay the ancient Egyptians building the pyramids. Maybe instead of believing that everyone from the past was as stupid and thick as the average conspiracy nut job, maybe they weren't, and maybe humans really did actually do this, and maybe it shows just how ingenious we are as a species, instead of always constantly trying to put down achievement. I'm going to put little roofing bits on. I don't. I've decided I don't. You know what I do kind of want to do? I know it's not exactly in keeping with the whole wood thing, but I kind of think some glass in here would actually look quite nice. Angle, we went with 22.5, didn't we? Okay. Would that fit in there? It would. We would need to make it bigger. That's very frustrating. I don't particularly want to have to use more than one pane of glass. Yeah, nope. Every sane person does. I mean, I can understand sort of the idea of having some healthy skepticism. Like, at the end of the day, no one should take everything for granted. Like, that's fine. But there is so much evidence. It's like the flat earthers. There is literally mountains and mountains of evidence. And to just stubbornly ignore every bit of evidence, just, it's so annoying. And what annoys me even more is that you you get this weird sort of idea that we have to be civil to people that have these ridiculous opinions, instead of calling them out for what they are, which is complete and utter idiots, morons, complete fools. And I kind of feel that we as a species kind of need to start doing this. When someone says something that's stupid, we as a species need to start getting better at going, "You're an idiot." instead of being, like, trying to be nice to them, just call them out for what they are. Complete fucking imbeciles. And maybe then, maybe they'll stop being so stupid. I would be totally all for doing that as a species. I don't like that. It might be a bit clean, but I kind of prefer it clean. If anything, maybe we should just put more of these in. Exactly. Proper skeptics avoid facts when they're presented, denying all the evidence isn't skeptical, it's impervious to logic. I like the vines on it, by the way. They're sexy. Okay. Well, then, I need to find a way of making them look better. Because I did not like that. Maybe I just need to use the longer ones. Maybe this is a case of size really does matter. Okay. What really bugs me about the ivy is it doesn't sit correctly. Like, because none of it has physics, it doesn't kind of sit right, and that does bug me or on a certain level, but we'll adapt. As the Borg say, we'll adapt. But they don't. They say we'll adapt your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own, but it's the same sort of thing. I do kind of like the fact that it gives us a nice little ridge line down the middle. Okay, I don't dislike that. That works from a distance. That works. Maybe if we did a few more of these. And gave it more of a proper roof covering. Ah, now this I prefer. This I'm kind of digging. Leave bits open so it's not uniformly covered. Oh, you were talking about the ivy. Yeah, but then I kind of get that weird OCD thing about it being, like, not level. And then I also feel you end up using a lot more piece count that way as well, because to do it properly, you kind of have to do it with smaller bits. It's better than nothing, I guess. Need to grab one more of these. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. Right. What did their one then have else? So I do want to replicate what they're doing with the lights. So they had one set of neon lights going down the middle. I'm thinking put neon lights in each gap between the trunks. But I'm thinking maybe only do the front and the open ends. Lights. Oh, of course. Neon isn't included in the lights section, is it? It's included in the sign section, because Frontier have to be. They have to be. Any other logical person would have put it in the light section, but not Frontier. Okay, I suppose we should choose a color. I don't necessarily like the blue. Maybe green? The green I like more than the blue. Orange. See, I quite like the orange, but that's a wrong orange. I want something a little nicer than that. What sort of orange? Maybe a lighter orange? That's a bit nicer. It's less red. What are your hopes for the next DLC? Well, I have no hopes because I feel pretty convinced it's going to be the Rebirth one. So I have no hopes for that DLC. The Rebirth DLC is going to be probably the most useless DLC for me because I'm not gonna be really using any of it. I will never have Distortus Rex all that Mutadon in my parks. I refuse. I will never ever have them. So they'll be useless to me. I've just noticed that that these aren't up to the ends. I need to I need to make them a little longer. But if you mean after the Rebirth DLC, I kind of wish or hope that that they start doing more of their own kind. Let me start again. I want Frontier to start moving away from just relying on the films all of the time for the DLC stuff. I know why they do it. It makes perfectly good logical sense to go based off the films first. But I want them to stop just using the films. Like, I feel that was a major downside of what we got for Evolution 2. They were just solely, entirely reliant on Dominion content, and I'm sorry, that's shit. I want them to start showing that they're capable of having their own ideas and adding to Jurassic rather than just relying on the novels and stuff. That's what I would like. You know, I would like to start seeing stuff like the, you know, all the DLCs that we got for Jurassic World Evolution 1, I feel were relatively unique. Like, they weren't obviously 100%. You know, obviously the Claire Deering one was based heavily off of stuff that was mentioned in Fallen Kingdom, but it was not identical, was it? Like, they implemented it in their own way. Same as the Doctor Wu DLC. Like, it was implemented in their way. And it was their stuff. Same as the Return to Jurassic Park DLC. Like, they had some of the stuff from the films there, but most of it was their own work. And I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is just regurgitated film content. Ooh. Now, I kind of like that in as much as I like the orange. I think the blue works for Jurassic World because everything has to be blue and white. Even Star Trek had to be blue and white when they went all Apple. But I feel like the orange is a nicer, warmer color, although we do need additional lighting in here. So I think I'm going to put some, whoopsie daisy, put some additional lights in here. Evo is not convinced that the Rebirth is the upcoming one. I have seen your video on that. I don't necessarily agree. But I think you were very logical in everything you said, though. Like, completely agree with the logic of your argument, but I don't necessarily 100% agree. wish there was a upside down view. I really do. I'm gonna have to rely on free look. Okay. So we could do that. Oh shoot. It's hard to think. It was hard of me to think that Frontier could come up with a worse camera than the camera that we initially started with in Jurassic World Evolution 2. But they have. This is potentially one of the worst cameras for a modular building game I've ever had the misfortune to use. I think it's terrible. There we go. Christ on a bike, right? Confirm, duplicate. Okay, how... You disagree? Impossible, it never happens. Okay. I think that looks good. I think the lights in the roof, I think they look good. And I think they do actually provide enough lighting under there. I don't think we actually need any more. I think that provides enough lighting under that. Okay, now this one, this guy's... Yeah, okay. Okay. I think we can do a little bit better. I'm going to remember to actually be on the group, though, before I start doing anything. Trim gantry planter. I am right now seeing a post saying that yogurt what? Hang on, I just saw what the rest of that was, and I'm like, what? I feel like it needs more explanation, but at the same time, I don't want to know the explanation. That is one heck of a thing to just come out with. I think is the right term there. I'm sorry to use this reference, but like, who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down. The post does not provide any explanation. Well, I mean, maybe that's kind of a good thing. I'm not sure I want further explanation. It might be terrible. The only problem with it being that small is there aren't many types of plant we could get in there. Duplicating. No, advanced move, not duplicating. I'm going to want that silver birch color again. We're going to make the wood of this stuff. I'm going to recolor my wood. I apologize for nothing. I kind of secretly hoped that at that point when I said that, Eva was taking a drink and she just spat it out when I just said that. With like some Dutch equivalent to a British person going, "Good God," or "My Lord." Okay. Okay. Planters. No, plants. Not planters, plants. I think we are going to have to rely... We are going to have to make... a lot of this is going to have to be this lovely purple flower, which does a lot of heavy lifting in my builds. We do have another one, which is this stuff. What even is this stuff? Golden rod. That's just a... What botanist? I want to know who the botanist was that named this plant. And I bet you he sniggered like a schoolboy calling it that. Golden rod. I wasn't, but I was doom scrolling, getting distracted by that. Dial me right back in. There we go, folks. If you ever want Evo's attention, just comment on recoloring your wood. Okay, I think that's fine with those colors. I kind of feel like we need to maybe have a tree here. Have we got some like small trees, maybe saplings? Sap of the lings. Oh, that's way too big. That is what she said. You know what? Sometimes less is more. So I'm going to leave it at that. I do think I'm gonna be cheeky and do one more neon light strip in the middle. And then, just because I'm a stickler for making it look like this does actually work properly, I need a legada, let tilt, and le place sort of there. Yes, okay. Eins. Zwei. Zwei. Again. About there. And yeah. Now it doesn't look like the neon strip is going into the ground and being fueled by the power of the planet. Okay. Benches. I think we'll go with the nice wooden carved ones, because I think that this reminds me of Easter eggs. I think that's quite nice Alpine style. Well, actually, what's this one? It just makes me think of church graveyard. Actually, we'll go for this one. This is the style that's going to have people on. So we'll put one, and then the next one will be non-people. Non-people. Honestly, I cannot believe that we still do not have placeable seating that guests can use. Just really? Frontier? Really? Jesus died so you could live. No, Jesus died because someone killed him. And I live because I was a lucky sperm. Religion can get bent, as far as I'm concerned. That might upset people. I don't care. I was a prodigy as a sperm. King Giga, I want that on a t-shirt. I was a prodigy as a sperm. That's a fantastic quote. I love it. Oh, that's not in the pot. That's better. That one was not in the pot also. There we go. What else? What else could we have in here? Maybe we should have a bin. Guests won't use them, but, you know. We're gonna annoy all the people with OCD. Maybe we should do like a... Did he have a thing like that? No. Although he strangely put fire extinguisher there. Oh, and security cameras. Security cameras is a good idea. Honestly, I kind of hate them. I do kind of feel that it would be nice if we had... It would be nice if we had, like, some less obvious security cameras. Like, maybe something that was more akin to the little dome. The little domes. They're kind of obvious and kind of ugly. Anything else? Oh, this guy put those, put some nice banners. We could do some banners. Nope, no Jurassic World crap here. Yeah, but then that kind of interferes. Yeah, no. I meant labeled as Jurassic World, King Giga. This banner is one of the few that doesn't have Jurassic World stuck on it somewhere, so it's brandless and is therefore acceptable. But I kind of feel that interferes with the sort of clean lines and stuff, and it also kind of, I don't know. I like this without banners. I do think that maybe we could put something up here. I'm going to assume that those medallions are props. They are indeed, as are the cannons, as are the big metal balls. I'm going to go with the bronze, or that's actually wood, isn't it? It's not bronze, it's wood. I think that suits our wood theme that we have going here. Maybe we could just have it hanging a little bit lower. I dig that. I wish we could change the color of it, but I dig it. It looks more like a penny. I guess it does in a way. But I think that works. And I guess if people wanted to put like a sign hanging under, like they could put like a sign hanging from these two sticking out logs and build like a sign to put here if it was going to lead into a specific section. So a specific section. So I think that's fine. Okay, let's have a look at what they look. So that's his one in the dark. It does look quite clean in the green, the blue. And then there's mine, which is a little lighter. Maybe we should have some lighting either side of the medallion and maybe some on these. What could we use to light up the medallion? The medallion! To quote Captain Barbossa. I feel like almost fire would work. But you don't want to put fire on something that's made of wood. That's tempting fate, one would say. It's probably going to be easier to do this in the dark. I mean, those kind of work, but they're kind of obvious too. So I guess any type of light is going to be pretty obvious. I mean, he put floodlights on the ground, but and I'm not going to be able to hide anything there. That's almost too far back. Actually, what's... they've got too small a range. What the devil? Okay. How far out would that have to be? Doesn't quite illuminate it enough, does it? Even the white doesn't. Thought occurs. doesn't produce enough glow. See, that would light it up fine. The minute you put it back, it's funny because that doesn't light doesn't get stopped by placeable like gridded pieces, because I've noticed that on my bridge. But it does get stopped by props, which is interesting. Okay, Ginkgo. See you later. Ooh. I have had an idea. What if... How small can I make this? It doesn't provide enough surrounding glow. I like the effect, but it doesn't light it up enough. I do really like the effect, though. It's just too... It looks great, but it's just too dangerous. Just way too dangerous. Change the color. Kind of like the red. I think that works. Yeah, I think the red... I think the red makes it look really good. Okay. We will do it like that. Hello, Matix. Matix. Okay. I'm happy with that. I think that looks okay. And then we wanted to place some nice uplights. Large wall. Ba-ba-bum-ba-dum. Oh, can't see where the ground is. Well, actually, maybe the circle ones would be better off down here, since I can then put them on. Yeah. Let's make them orange as well. Make them the same orange. Yeah. It's not much of a glow, but I think it's just enough to add a little bit to the outside. Yeah, just a little bit. I think I'm happy with that. I think that looks good. Obviously, it will only fit properly under large parts. I'll have to do... Well, that being said, like most people use large paths by default, or do bigger, wider paths anyway, and it's not particularly difficult to extend, because all you really need to do is shift the walls out and then just copy the roof elements across. And all the lighting is reasonably easy to get to if they wanted to ever change the color of the neons inside. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Sandbox settings. Oh, I guess that's a little bit noticeable during the day. You know what? I think I'm going to get rid of that. And we'll just make these lights orange instead and hope that shows up decently. Because those eye slots were too noticeable. Yeah, we got a nice, decent little path cover there in that spirit. And we've also we made all these little alpine planters. I'm going to save as one big group. I think is probably going to be... I have forgotten to save this one as a group. Yeah. Create group. Okay, I'm going to save all of these as one big blueprint. Because that seems to be what people prefer. So, like, the first set of planters, basic planters and little fountains. And then I'll probably just do, like, the rectangle and square ones next, and then do the multi-level one, and then the big ones will leave as one. So confirm, make blueprint, create new, and what do we call this? Alpine / Taiga style planters and planters / part 1. Oh dear, my typing. A selection of Alpine log constructed planters and fountains for Alpine and Taiga style parks. This pack 1, not part 1. This pack contains planters in small, and medium squares and medium-sized octagons. All vegetation is pre-placed. Not biome changing. All have cool blue lighting for nighttime bugs. Each plant is a group for easy duplication and placement. Easy duplication. Create. Right. And then let me go and grab this. Make blueprint. Alpine / Tega style path cover. Wide. A log constructed path cover fitted for wide paths. Uses logs for Alpine feel, including standard colors and birchwood color. Added aesthetics. Has lighting, including neon lighting for great nighttime display. Right. And those will go on the workshop pretty much straight away. And I'll put them on in a second. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch me build. Sunday we'll be back to the Norway park and building some more of that. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out these builds on the workshop as well as all my other builds on the workshop if you haven't already. And I will see you on Sunday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday evenings. Stay safe and good night.